Back up here in Keene Valley, New York, we've made a lot of progress since our last video. We've got the shell complete now. Timberbilt came a couple weeks back after we installed the floor system. They got the entire shell put up, so you can see that it's starting to actually look like a house now, which we're pretty excited about. If you take a look here, we actually got the roof put on also. Now this is a pretty interesting system. It's a standing seam metal panel in a crinkle finish, so it gives you that sort of matte appearance. We really love that appearance. I think that's going to fit really nice with the exterior finishes. Really excited to see how that sort of comes out in time here. What I really like about this system, and come here Lucas, I want to show you this, is the system that our roofer specifically uses. We have a partner, Goldspire Roofing. And if you take a look at the edge details right here, it's really nice because it's a little bit different than your conventional roof edging. So it actually makes it look like just another ridge panel. So we're pretty excited about this system. As you can see, a lot of the details have been really fully fleshed out. They do a really nice job with the metal panel work. This system's also kind of unique because underneath of it we have a shark skin underlayment that helps with the breathability or ventilation underside of the roof. So that shark skin mat goes down first and it gives you just a thin layer of ventilation, and then the roof panels go on top of that. Now that we talked about the outside, let's take a look on the inside. This is kind of where all of the magic happens, if you will. Come on up, don't trip, don't trip. So welcome to the great room. So as you first enter the space, we really wanted to kind of expand the scale of the space. So this is where we used some really nice moves with the timbers. They're high, they're very large. You can sort of see the 30-degree bracing that happens here, the tapered bracing. That helps to sort of make the space feel much larger. This is one of the tallest spaces in the house, and it's meant to be that way. Because when you first enter, we wanted to get, this beautiful view of the woods surrounding. And if you walk out over here, this is the living room space. And what we really like about this space so far, and what we were planning for, was this to be bright, really high exposure to the views. We've got the mountains off in the distance here, and then obviously you can see the amount of glass that we have here is going to make this feel like a really inviting space. So going from here, we have the sitting room. So the scale comes down a little bit. The size of the beams and the timbers remain about the same, but the height is brought down a little bit with the addition of the lower chord of the truss. And what we did here also was to expose more of the timber, because that's really what this house is all about, is the timber. We brought the structure, offset it from the exterior of the envelope. So normally your structure would come down here. We brought it out of this, so it's not hidden in the wall, and brought it within the space. So now you get these really beautiful, beefy columns that are just set inside the space. I love the fact that by exposing the structure like that, it just gives an extra layer of added dimension to the space. So over here will be a cast concrete patio. We still have to fill this space. We'll cast this with concrete, and then we have a beautiful Vermont slate tile that's going to be covering that, so more to come on that. Over here, this big blank wall right here, this is eventually going to be kind of like the centerpiece of this room. We're going to be cutting a hole through here, and then we're going to be harvesting some of the local rock, the granite rock that's, that the Adirondacks are really well known for. And we have tons of it here on site. And we're going to do basically a floor to ceiling rock facade on here using that stone. It'll be a big wood burning fireplace. We'll cut a hole through here, And then we've got plans to build the chimney outside of the building envelope. So that's going to be, probably this will be the main space that the homeowners always use. It'll be their primary area. Another fun detail that I wanted to discuss relative to the build and you know, the uniqueness of this house is some of the timber detail. So you can kind of see where we're going from one type of truss system in the great room here to another type of structure in the living room space. These transition details are what really make this house, I believe. So you can kind of see where Timberbuilt did a really great job in coordinating with us when we were doing the design of this thing in terms of, you know, we would develop a 3D model of this, kick it back and forth with Timberbuilt until we could find a good solution for how to make these transitions from one type of frame to another. And, you know, we are really, really enthusiastic about the way this turned out. You know, it's a very expressive part of the architecture. And I believe that this is really what makes the house. It's the first thing when people come into this space, they hone in on those details, which are all over. And, you know, that's really what takes this house to the next level. So that's the living room space. Going from the living room space, you walk through seamlessly into the kitchen area. Now, you know, I know what the vision is, but you're just seeing a big, large, wide open space. I'll talk you through it a little bit. So when you first enter, we have a large, very large kitchen island that occupies the center of the space. And then as you can see, we've brought the scale up once again. So, and we've changed the sort of language of the timber frame a little bit. So now we have a cathedral ceiling once again. We've brought down the scale of the individual members. And then on top of this, throughout the entire house, we will have tongue and groove pre-finished pine ceilings. So large kitchen island. Then we have basically upper and lower cabinetry that goes around in a big C shape. And then it converts to just lower cabinetry here. And then obviously we have a really large window here, bay window, with the sink overlooking some more of this beautiful property, with the extra skylight above to actually wash this space with a little bit more light. It's a little dark in here today because most of our windows and doors are still actually covered in Typar. The cabinetry wraps around, and then it goes full floor to ceiling here. Refrigerator will be here, and then this is really cool feature. We're gonna have a hidden pantry here. So the cabinet doors will open up, and then this will be a very large, generous, hidden pantry space here, which is about 5 by 7. All right, so we've talked through this window detail in the past when we were working on the carriage house. I just wanted to cover that once again because it's a really awesome detail. What we do is we come in here, we cut the Typar house wrap, we fold it back, staple it, cut it. But at the sill level, we use this clapboard siding, this pine clapboard siding. And we basically place that, because it's got a little bit of a pitch to it, so you can kind of see that it tapers. So it gives us that natural taper that we want to shed water. So we put the narrow side towards the outside so it pitches water away from the house. And then we take this 1x, which is about 3/4 material, and we place that on the back. So they call this the dam. So this is going to stop any possible water infiltration. And I don't know how many houses we've done remodels on. One of the things you always see is that water gets in and around the windows, and once it does that, it sort of makes its way down along the window, finds the sill, and gradually over time it rots it out. I don't know how many times we've seen that. So this system is meant to avoid that. It's going to protect the house long term. So you have the back water dam, and then you have the tapered detail here. So once we get this installed, And come check this one over here. We have some finished. As you can see here, once we get those installed, we finish it with this zip system stretch tape. We really love this product. It's awesome. We use a full 10-inch piece so you can get it all wrapped in one continuous membrane. And what happens now is you can see, you know, with the back dam here, if any water finds this this area, it's going to automatically shed out, and then we don't tape the bottom of the windows. That water can just shed away. And you know, so this is going to protect those window openings for the long term. We've kind of walked through the main public spaces. Now we're going to enter into the two more private spaces. So off to this wing from the kitchen, you walk through the hall. There's going to be a side entrance here. Primarily, they will use this entrance, is my guess. You come through here. This is going to be a small half bath that'll service the public area, so it's just a nice short walk to the half bath here. Over in here, we have their office space. So this is going to be a small office space where they can, you know, work from home, do whatever they need to do. It's got plenty of lighting with the big windows. Over here is the guest bedroom. Over here, we've got, again, a couple windows. We left the windows off of this wall because that's where we plan on the bed being. We'll be cutting in the closet space underneath this closet, or sorry, underneath the stairway. Walking over here, this is going to be the stair that leads you to the upstairs space where there's additional bedrooms up there, a couple of them and a bathroom. And then here we have the laundry and a second bath. So laundry will be here, large custom tile shower here with vanity and sink. So going from the office and the side entrance, you walk through this sort of, and that's kind of how we planned it, was two intersecting pathways, one going this way and the primary one going this way. As we enter through here, there'll be a large pocket wall that sort of isolates the master suite from the rest of the space. So that pocket wall will pull out here. We have another side entrance from the back patio right here. And then this axis is sort of centered with a series of doors here. So there's the hallway here, which has the beautiful timbers above, and it'll be all tongue and groove pine ceiling. And then this is the master bathroom here. So you'll walk through a set of double doors, pocket doors, to a very, very large closet space. This is like 14 by 7, his and her sides. There will be a second set of pocket doors here. And then this will be the master suite bathroom. We have a very large soaker tub that goes here. Really beautiful set of cabinetry and double vanity sink here. And then the toilet and all that stuff happens over on this side. And then we have a really large, beautiful push-out casement window here. So, you know, when they're taking a bath, they're using the tub. They can open it up, listen to the sounds of the river, and it's pretty exceptional. So walking from down the hallway, you come into the master suite here, and this is meant to be kind of like their oasis. You know, you come in here, again, the same sort of trusses that we used in the front entry space, we brought them back into this space. So it's one of those moments where you're just sort of wowed as you walk into the space. You've got these big, beautiful trusses and tons of glass to expose you. It's not always going to be Typar. That's not the view we want. Of course, it's going to be looking at the mountains. But yeah, the plan is to have their master bed here and then a little wood stove sort of fireplace in the corner. So yeah, that's where we're at. We've made huge progress since the last video we made. Timberbuilt came in, they built the shell. We came in and we did all the interior framing. Now we're actually working on the window prep and getting ready for installing windows and doors next week.
you.